I'm a professional poker player and coach, and I usually battle it out at the 1-2 and 1-3 live tables in London. But today I'm here at the Genting Westcliff in Southend in England, where they have the world's largest pleasure pier. Let's see if I'll have some pleasure at this 1-1 game inside here. They say this game is loose, splashy, and fun. Exactly my kind of game. So let's see how good it really is. So I sit down right when the table opens, and in my first hand I look down at King 10 suited on the button. Pretty good first hand, but then there is a raise to £3 and a 3-bet to £10. I decide it's too early for the cold 4-bet with King high, so I fold. Everyone else folds as well, and the guy who 3-bet shows 7 deuce. Alright, so it's this kind of game, I see. But then I'm told that if you win a hand with 7 deuce, you get a rake-free pass until someone else nicks it from you again. Okay, so I've learned my lesson. One orbit later, it folds to me on the button. I look down at the wonderful 7 deuce offsuit. I raise to 4, the small blind calls. I c-bet on a board of 10-4-4, he quickly folds, and I am now the proud owner of the rake-free pass. I'm adapting very quickly to the local style. But then something weird happens. I raise pocket 8 and everybody folds. I raise ace king over a limper, he calls, flop comes king 7-7, I c-bet small, he folds. This isn't quite what I expected. So I don't know if it was because I was filming, but in any case the game has been very tame so far. So I'm gonna try my luck at another table. Let's see if this one is any better. At this new table, everyone has at least 300 big blinds in front of them, so this should be a great game. And as soon as I sit down at the new table, I look down at pocket aces under the gun. At this point, I haven't even got my camera ready yet, so I didn't film this, sorry. And I have no idea what the normal raise size is at this table, so I probably go way too small and open to £6 because I'm hoping that one of the aggressive players will raise me. But to my surprise, only the player next to act calls. Everyone else folds. The flop comes ace 7-5 with 2 spades, so I now have top set. I start with a check as I am out of position. He quickly bets 10. And because I have top set, I decide to only call and let him do some bluffing. In hindsight, I think this was a missed opportunity to check raise. The turn is the annoying queen of spades bringing in the flush. I check to him again, and this time he just checks back. Okay. The river is an offsuit jack, and I'm thinking if he has an ace or 2-pair or a slow played set, he will bet this river. And if he has a bluff, he might also bet, so I play this super trappy and check once again. But he snap checks behind and shows 6-4 offsuit for a busted open-ender. So he did not bluff this hand on the river. Maybe he too was a bit scared by the camera. He should absolutely bluff his 6 high. In the next hand, the straddle is on for £2. There is a limp from under the gun, and I look down at king-queen offsuit and make it 10 to go. The straddle and the limper call, so we're going 3 ways to a flop of ace-queen 7 with 2 spades. The straddle quickly leads out for 11, the limper folds. Because there is a flush draw, I don't think he's super strong when he donks for 11. Yes, he might have a weak ace, but more often than not, this is either a draw or some weaker pair, so I call. The turn is great. It's an offsuit king now giving me 2-pair. He bets 25, and in the moment I thought I want to keep his bluffs in, and if he has an ace I might get him to call a river bet anyway. But maybe I should raise here to get value from an ace or a flush draw, but I just call. Anyway, the river is another ace, really annoying because now obviously my 2-pair is counterfeit. He checks and I don't know why my brain wasn't working here. This is a clear value bet on the river, but somehow I just insta-checked back in my annoyance about the ace on the river. He shows queen 5 of clubs and we take it down, but I am still slightly annoyed that I missed that value bet on the river. In the next one, there is a limp and I have ace-8 offsuit on the button. Not great, but I'm definitely going to isolate the limper, so I make it 8 pounds. The small blind calls and the limper calls as well. The flop is 10-9-7 with 2 spades. It gives me an open-ender, but this board hits both of their ranges quite hard, so I check back. The turn is the 4 of spades, completing the flush. Now, the limper bets out 11. Had the turn not been a spade, I would have raised, but because the flush came in, I'm going to just call. And now the small blind, this is the guy who didn't bluff 6-4 earlier when I had aces, he now raises to 50. The limper folds and I don't really want to continue here with the flush being there, no drawing to the nuts, so I unfortunately have to let it go as well. But we're up against the same villain in the very next hand. There are 2 limpers and I look down at ace-2 suited in the cutoff. This is an ideal hand to limp behind. It plays great multi-way and we are over 300 big blinds effective, so we might stack someone with a smaller flush if we hit. The button also limps, so we see a flop 6 ways, and what a flop it is. No diamonds, but it is ace-10 deuce, giving us 2 pair. It checks to me and I check behind. And yes, I know, I'm playing this very passively again, but the guy to my left who has been V-pipping around 90% of hands is getting more aggressive by the minute, so I hope he'll put in money for me. And he obliges. He bets 5 pounds. Unfortunately, everyone else folds. I elect to just call, thinking that I can make more money by trapping the aggressive player rather than raising myself. The turn is the 8 of hearts, bringing in a flush draw. After I check, he bets 15 and I just call again. The river is the 7 of hearts, bringing in the backdoor flush. I check and he now overbets 65 into the pot of 46. I was never going to fold here, but let's analyze the spot. When he overbets the river, he is saying that he has a backdoor flush. Well, potentially he might be doing this with a set because he doesn't think that I have many flushes. However, his range was never filtered. I'm sure he limps behind about 80% of hands pre-flop because he would raise maybe 20%, and fold, well, 0%. And he still has all those hands in his range. So after tanking for a bit, I throw in the chips and he immediately mucks his cards. Let's go, we're finally on the right track. By the way, if you want a quick shortcut on how to exploit every player at your table, so the tag, the lag, the calling station, the OMC, and even the pro, then make sure to get my free cheat sheet by clicking in the link on the description below. But now off to the next hand, where we're isolating a limper with queen 10 of diamonds to 7. The big blind calls, the limper actually folds. The big blind is the player who had queen 5 earlier when I had king queen, and he donked out twice with second pair no kicker. Now the flop comes king 10 6 rainbow. He donks for 7, I call with my second pair. The turn is the ace of hearts, bringing in a flush draw. He now sizes down to 10 pounds, and with now third pair and a gut shot, I'm not going anywhere for this small prize, so I call. And look at this river, an offsuit jack giving me the nuts. And not only that, but he now bets 50. I Hollywood for a bit and make it 150 to go. But then he puts on a much better acting performance than me. Dear Hollywood agents, if you're looking for some fresh talent, look no further than this villain. He looks really annoyed, shakes his head and almost moves his cards into the muck, only to shove the remainder of his stack into the middle. We snap call obviously, and he shows king queen offsuit for a chop. In the next one, there are 3 limpers. I make it 15 with pocket 10s on the button, and all 3 of them call. The flop is queen 9 deuce with 2 clubs. The action checks through. The turn is another 9, bringing in a second flush draw. Now, the first limper makes it 15, which is only a quarter pot, so I call to see what he does on the river after the other 2 players fold. I am often behind here, but for that price I don't want to fold. The river is an offsuit king, and he now bets 55. I believe him and fold, and he shows pocket aces. What? Okay, he limped aces, then didn't re-raise me pre-flop, saw a flop 4 ways, and then he became aggressive. The joys of low-stakes poker. Now the under the gun player limps, I make it 10 pounds with pocket 9s and under the gun +1. The small blind, who is the guy with the aces from the previous hand, he calls, and now the limper makes it 26. We are deep, he is making it very small, we're probably going multi-way to the flop, so I'm definitely calling with my 9s, and the small blind calls as well. And bingo, queen 9 with 2 spades, we flop a boat. To my delight, the limp raiser c-bets to 60. I decide to just call because I want to keep Mr. I limp aces in the hand. Hopefully one of them does have aces or kings, and yes, the small blind calls as well. There's over 250 pounds in the middle, and the turn is the 7 of clubs, bringing in a second flush draw. Now both players check. We have around 200 pounds effective left, so I'm thinking that before the board gets even scarier for an overpair, I'll put my money in right now. An overpair never folds, and a queen definitely never folds. But sadly, both players do snap fold. But then I get into another interesting spot. There are 3 limpers, I make it 15 to go with ace-10 offsuit in the cutoff, and a total of 5 players call. Well, that really worked well. The flop comes queen 3-3, and I'm prepared to give up, but everyone checks, so we see a free turn, which is a rainbow 10. Now, the under the gun limper bets 41. He is the guy who donked with second pair earlier, so I make a loose call here, thinking that ace-10 might actually be good. The other players fold, and the river is another 3, so now I have a boat. He now bets 50, which isn't even third pot. I'm sure he would bet much bigger with a king, so I call and he shows king 10. We chop once again, but my read was correct that I was ahead on the turn. I couldn't film this next hand because my storage on the camera was full. I know, rookie error, but the hand is a great one, so I'm still going to share it. I raise pocket kings under the gun to 10 big blinds. Yes, that's right, I get called by all sorts of hands, even if I go really big, so I might as well. And indeed, I get 4 callers, which is of course more than I bargained for. The flop comes queen 9-6 rainbow, and I could consider going for value, but against 4 opponents and being in early position, I start with a check and everybody checks behind. The turn is the 5 of hearts. I check again because the player to my left has a tendency to bet when everybody shows weakness, but this time unfortunately he checks as well. However, now the biggest nit at the table bets out for 45, which is almost pot. And the player on the button calls. With this action, I'm convinced that my kings are not good, so I fold. In the end, the nit showed 3-4 of hearts for a straight flush draw, and the other player had 8-7 offsuit for the turned nuts, so I really dodged a bullet here. And now, off to the biggest hand of the night right at the end of the session. There's a race to 11 from under the gun. I make it 35 pounds with ace-king in middle position. And the player to my left cold calls. Yes, that's the very friendly fun player who tried to bluff me earlier. Everyone else folds. The flop comes king 6 deuce, and as I've been doing all evening, I check out of position. He quickly bets 55 pounds. I could raise, but I want to keep his bluffs in, so I just call. The turn is a 4, and he bets 100 into the pot of around 190. I just call again. The river is another king, and he now shoves for the remaining 350 pounds. Is this a snap call? Well, this guy has been quite aggressive, but he called a big pre-flop bet in this one, then bet the flop, bet the turn, and now shoved the river. And then he starts talking. He tells me that he doesn't have 5-3 for a straight, and this is bad news. Because usually when someone excludes a portion of their range, this means that they have a strong hand. It's basically never a bluff. So my ace-king is mostly a bluff catcher, but I think I can beat some value because if he has king-queen or king-jack or any other king for that matter, he would do the same. In the end, I toss in the chips and he shows ace-king, so it's another chop, the third one at this table.
So, I played for 7.5 hours tonight. The game started very slowly, but it really picked up then once I changed the table. Shame that I had those 3 big chopped pots, but still, it was a positive result in the end. I made 151 pounds, so I would definitely recommend this one and I'd like to come back.